The problem in gaining traction in the political sphere is that those who get stuck in the anger phase are the primary drivers of monetizable content, thinking shaming will reverse promiscuity. Would you like me to go into a little bit more detail about that? One of the things that I think happens, and I'm not going to name, I think you guys already know. I could say this about Tim Pool. I could say this about Myron. I could say this about whatever podcast. I could say this about anybody. So don't think this is directed at any one particular person. But what happens is after a while, guys who are about it, like I'm always interested in guys who are interested in staying red pill, right? Or who are on message, on mission, on point. Like I have never changed my tune. I've been the most consistent voice in this space for, well, really 22 years, but certainly since I started podcasting back in 2018, right? I've been the most consistent voice in what I'm saying. I have not changed. I don't talk about the Jews. I have not gone political. I go political when it crosses over into intersexual dynamics. I think one of the things that Jim was actually talking about here is that, I've been consistent, and sometimes that consistency doesn't make me marketable. And so when it comes to, calling people out. I mean, that's why I called out Jim, right? That's why I'll still call out Galloway. That's why I would call out Mike. I would call out Myron. I would call out anybody, right? If I think that that's hey, let's get back on point. What is it? Iron sharpens iron. I love how people like throw that one all the time and think these mighty manhood of, pinnacle of manhood kind of things all the time. But like when it happens, they're like, oh, this is bitch behavior. No, this is me like holding you accountable. Why don't you come on and like as Jim did, he was, hey, let's get on and talk about it, right? So we do. And so if you want to talk about iron sharpens iron, if you want to talk about, which is really just constructive criticism, like why not just simply go on and talk about it, right? So I think it's funny is like people go, well, you need to talk about it behind the scenes. Why? If I'm going to say, hey man, I think that was really off base. Oh yeah, fuck you. Okay, that's all behind the scenes. You don't see anything that happens between the two guys doing that. If you want an example of guys who are disagreeing with each other, or maybe like I'm not so big in my fucking head that I can't say, hey, maybe I misinterpreted that. Maybe I was wrong about that. And I probably was. I probably should have like read into that a little bit more because I know what he was talking about. He's basically saying, guys need to maintain frame. Okay. Don't fly off the handle. Don't go and become some domestic violence statistic just because you got betrayed and because a lot of guys will say, well, that's pussies, but pussies wouldn't do that. A real man would go and like lose his shit and smack a bitch around. Yeah, you're gonna go spend the night in county because of that too.
Never lose your freedom for a woman.
Yeah, and so. You say, well, that's taking the high road. That's being noble. That's being chivalrous, whatever the fuck. You could put whatever fucking name on you. I'm going to tell you, it's not none of the above. It's just being pragmatic at that point. It's just being pragmatic. Learn your lesson, take it on the chin and come back and have another go at it. Right? And if you don't want to have another go at it, fine. But don't like make it your life's mission to like, lose your shit over one fucking incident that fucked you up. Okay. I get that. But the thing that I was getting at is it was aligning really, really close with what Galloway was saying at the same time. The same thing that Richard Reeves is saying at the same time. And I'll say this once again is like I'm convinced that there's going to like if they did it last election cycle, they're going to do it this election cycle. There's going to be another pack, and it's not going to be necessarily a leftist, or it could be both. It could be the left and the right. They're going to buy influencers. This last election has proven that influencers decide elections, or they help to decide elections. If you don't believe me, go read Kamala Harris's latest book about how she lost the motherfucking election, right? Go read that and you will understand exactly what that was about, which is why they're trying to, like what I call till the fields right now. They want to get they want the left version, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it, but they want the left version of Joe Rogan. Good fucking luck. Go talk to Andrew Schultz. Maybe he'll be your patsy. Maybe Akash can be your patsy. Probably not now. They've sort of lost face. But I was just going to say is that I don't see it as too far a stretch to say that either the right and the left are going to start investing in influencers. If you want to go and see who the right is going to use as their influencers, go look at Amfest right now. Go look at TPUSA. I'm going to tell you right now who they're going to use. They're going to use Nick Freitas. That's who they're going to use. Nick Freitas, not the other Nick. They're going to use him as the mighty manhood of masculinity guy to, because I guess he was former like Marine Corps, something like that. It was military anyways. They're going to probably use him because he's saying the right things. He's saying he's affirming their ideologies. You know, Christ is king. That's all you have to say. Like, you know, if I use my superpowers for evil, oh, dude. All I'd have to go, hey man, Christ is king. I could you want it, you got it, man. I could be very persuasive when it comes to that shit. But my message has been the same for forever. I can't pivot out of what I do. I am the fucking red pill. All right. There's no red pill adjacent Rolo. There's no, I might pivot out and play Space Marine 2 with you. I might pivot out and play Warhammer or do a fishing channel or play guitar. I'm going to do rig rundowns. That's very popular in the music scene right now. So do rig rundowns. Of course, you have to be in a very successful band to do that in the first place. But I'm going to do rig rundowns. I'm going to do, fishing videos. I'm going to do things that interest me. That's the only way I could pivot out of this. And even then, the first thing anybody would be like, if I'd be doing a live stream on like playing Space Marine or something like, how do I get my girlfriend back? Yeah. That'll be the first thing you guys do, man. You're like, hey, Rolo, when you talk about alpha widows, what do you mean? Read the book. Oh God. So this was good. The problem in gaining traction in the political sphere is that those who get stuck in the anger phase. Yeah. Okay. So good observation, especially the anger phase kind of thing, is because what I tried to make this point with Jim is that a lot of what gets passed off as like the toxic masculinity of the red pill is chumps, average frustrated chumps, incels, whatever you want to call them, black pill doomers, despondent kids, nihilists, the lost generation, I don't know, guys who are the loneliness epidemic. Let's see what else. Those guys are emblematic of drawing a sort of an ideological line between what the red pill is and what their ideology is. So when I have to say, when people say, well, Rolo, the red pill is not really Christian. Yeah, it's not. It's a praxeology. It's not supposed to be that. Well, the red pill's not leftist and it doesn't account for feminism. Yeah, it's not supposed to. It's not ideological. It's not a belief set. It's not a philosophy. But the only way that they can find ways to avoid the questions that the red pill brings up, which is what Jim was saying, is, you know, the red pill asks questions that people don't want to answer, particularly when it's a question about their ideology or something that relates or associates with that ideology. And that doesn't have to be, that can be left or right. I don't care what it is. As I said, I punch both ways. So as far as like the politics of this is concerned, I mentioned this on Tim Pool back on was it Friday? Yeah, on Friday. That I see this rise of internet influencers right now who are going to be bought and paid sock puppets of political interests, just like Destiny was, just like Jasmine Jafar was, just like Father Beans was. And the only thing I can do is I'm never gonna be a millionaire. I'm just gonna say that. I'm never gonna have a lot of money. Okay. I do okay. I get the things that I buy the things I want. I have a Chrysler 300 and I have a Chevy Camaro. I want those cars. Can I have those cars, please? I can buy the things that I want. I've retired my wife. I have 2 Greyhounds. I have a daughter who is 27. She is married. I have a pretty decent life. I'm pretty good personally. I have my hobbies. By the way, yes, I am going into surgery on Tuesday. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I would rather put money into people who I think have potential. And Lord, and where's the camera? Which is the camera? This is the camera? Yep. This one. You know who I'm talking to right now. I'm okay with helping people out. I'm okay. If I can help, I will help. I'm not one of these guys that no one's coming to help you, except for me. If you join my group of mighty men of pinnacle of eliteness, yeah, we'll help you. No, that's not me. Please join Reignite. I love you guys in Reignite. I'll get into that here in a little bit. But the long and the short of it is this is like, I'm good with that, but I'm not all brand. And it's like, I will talk to you like, I will shake your hand like a man, and I will talk to you like a man, and I will, deal with you like any other dude that I would deal with, right? And anybody who's a part of my Reignite group, you already know that. We have weekly calls where I'm talking to you just like I'm talking right now. I'm not, hey guys, let me talk. I'm not like Leisure Suit Larry. Let me show you how to get the girls, Hi, this is Gary Olson. Let me sell you a used Cadillac Coupe de Ville with spinning rims. No, you're not going to get radio voice. You're not going to get the Ziggy Stardust effect, right? I'm the dude. I'm whatever, just do what I do. Kyle knows that. I'm like, Kyle, as I'm talking to you right now, is this not like how I talk to you like when we walk out in the hallway right now?
Every single day.
It's annoying as fuck too. Yeah, so I wrote an essay recently. It was called, and this is actually, you'll find the chapter of this in my book called Religion. It's actually the very first chapter of Religion. But I write about, there's a section in it called the Ziggy Stardust effect. And it's these guys who become their brands. And I use David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust as an example of this. So like in 1972, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, arguably David Bowie's best album ever. I think so. But David Bowie at 25 years old created a character for himself, an onstage persona, if you will, which is called Ziggy Stardust. And did it so fucking convincingly at the time that people thought he was actually an alien come to this earth to save us from ourselves or something like that. Did you ever see the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth?
Yes.
I bet most of that was based on like something close to that because he starred in that. But the spectacle that was Ziggy Stardust was so convincing that people started referring to him as Ziggy, not as David Bowie, as Ziggy Stardust. And so he told Rolling Stone magazine back in 2016, before he died, he said, I had to kill Ziggy because Ziggy's personality was taking over David Bowie's personality. And he's enjoying it. He loved it. It was great, especially at 25 years old. You got bitches want to suck your dick. I want to suck Ziggy's dick. What? But I'm David Bowie, And so, which is great because David Bowie is a much better personality than Ziggy Stardust ever could be, right? But so he would have been typecast and locked into that. But really what he did was he proved a psychological dynamic, a human psychological dynamic, which is you can create your own identity and make it so believable that everybody else will believe it, right? And that's what I think a lot of people do in the influencer age is they become this personality that they think everybody expects of them. And so your audience tends to mold that personality. So if you're supposed to be, you're supposed to hate the then that's what you're going to do. And then you're going to change your name to Joey Hater, right? Or whatever it is. If the zeitgeist is we're all going to wear funny hats or we're all going to wear beanies, then everybody's going to start wearing beanies, right? Everybody's going to start talking like this. It's like the Starbelly Sneetches and the Dr. Seuss, right? That's going to be what's cool. And not only that, that's going to be their personality. That's going to be their authentic, well thought, and they'll retcon their own history to convince you of it, especially if that personality and that persona is what they're dependent on for their revenue. So if you're making money and you take a hit in popularity, or you lose followers, or you lose subscriptions, or you're losing money, but not only are you using money, you're also losing whatever unit of measure your ego is being measured by, right? And so that was one of the things that I think really needs to be sort of addressed and like at least be conscious of and aware of. Like, I don't use my real name. Well, guess what?
No way.
Yeah, no way. I thought your name was, aren't you Italian? Jesus Christ. I use Rollo Tomasi as my pen name, my pseudonym, my writer's name. It is my podcaster's name. And guess what? It's derived from a long history of guys not using their real names for their books and for their stage names. Ziggy Stardust, not his real name. Gene Simmons, not his real name. Paul Stanley, not his real name. Fresh, not his real name.
You're telling me the Big Show has a name?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Can't believe it, can you? Myron Gaines? Not his real name. Aaron Clary, his real name. Aaron Clary don't care. Aaron Clary is like the fucking honey badger of the fucking red pill, and he don't give a fuck about. He don't care about nothing. Aaron Clary don't care about nothing.